Happy Mother's Day, Mom. It's always hard. Well, it's not always. It's been hard the last 5 years since Mom has become an angel. Yeah, Mother's Day is sometimes it's sad, and other times it makes me happy that I had a mom that was so supportive of my transition. She actually was so much, it's hard to put it in words. She was more supportive with me telling her that I'm transgender and that I'm going to transition from female to male. She actually took it really well, like even more than when I told her, I was, that I liked women. I wanted to be with women, growing up, and I was attracted to women. When I first told her, I think I was only 16, so she thought I needed to see a counselor or a priest or a psychiatrist. I don't know. I just remember her saying it's because of what happened to you, that's why, and you just need to talk to somebody. And but at that same time, my sister being 4 years younger than me, she knew, she knew that I liked women before my mom did. And but my mom accepted me, and accepted my girlfriends, and and was supportive. But I remember this one incident. My sister and I were talking, and my mom overheard us talking, and my sister was telling me about a time where she had feelings for her friend, her girlfriend at the time. It was her friend, but it was a girlfriend. And my mom overheard that. And my mom came in the room, and she's like, no, 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 no. You're not, no, 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 we're not going to have that. No, 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 no. And at the time, I believe Matthew was maybe 4 or 5 years old. And Michael was, 5 and 13. Michael was 18. But anyway, she was not happy with what my sister had said. And her exact words were, we're only going to have one lesbian in this family, or one gay person. My mom did not like the word lesbian. I never liked it either. I never really liked labels until I was transitioning. Then I was okay with it, because I guess it fit. But yeah, I didn't like the word lesbian, or some of the other words people use to describe themselves, or identify with. But anyway, I still remember that day. I can visualize it. I remember like it was yesterday. And my mom had this tone of voice like she was angry, and that kind of blew me away, because before that she never showed any signs of like dislike or had any issues with me being with a woman, having relationships with them. But she just, I think, in my opinion, she didn't want that to be true for my sister, because I think she was worried about, well, what is Matthew going to think? What is Michael going to think? And it's going to be confusing and all of this. And, you know, the boys, both my nephews, you know, had a lot of love around them, but at the same time, they had to deal with a lot of other things. So I don't think my mom wanted that for her in her way of protecting my nephews. But I think that's why I say, like, in 2015, at 50 years old or 51, when I told her that I was going to be Stephen. I'm Stephen. I'm going to be her son. She was right on board with it. The only thing was, it was hard for her to call me son. Like, she would say, "Oh, this is my daughter," like introducing me when somebody comes in. Like, let's say somebody comes in to my mom's house and I'm there, and they're like, "Oh, this is my son." And then when they leave, they're like, she would say something like, "My daughter said this," you know, and it was, people would look at her like she's a little crazy, but I never got upset, because it made me laugh all the time. It, you know, I was her daughter for 50 years, and then all of a sudden it's like she's got to get used to the male pronouns. But yeah, I just, even in the stores, she'd just make me laugh. She would make me laugh so much, because I would like kind of stand behind her, like, while she's checking out. And, you know, my mom talked to everybody. She just talked to everybody. And I'm behind her, you know, doing this, like she's a little crazy. And even in Sprint, when Sprint had their own, before they merged with T-Mobile, we were in Sprint for hours and hours and hours. I was trying to get a new phone, and my mom came with me, and yeah, she was a hoot, because the guy that was helping me, he, you know, my mom walked away to look at some of the other stuff, and he's like, "Can I ask you, like, your mom's saying he and then she, and then, you know, what's up with that?" I said, you know, my ID, I think at the time, was still had Kim on it and not Steven. He's like, "Dude, what do you want me to call you?" And I'm like, "Call me Steven. Call me Steven." And I'm like, yeah, she loves me. She's accepting, but it's always going to be hard for her to get the pronouns straight all the time. And I said, "But yeah, she's a hoot, right?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah." You know, and I'm bringing all this up because it's like, you know, Mother's Day, I've had a lot of time to reflect, you know, the last 5 years of not having my mom physically, you know, and she's been spiritually with me, you know, throughout these last 5 years. And, but it's like, when I think of Mother's Day, it's like, oh, everybody, you know, gives their mom flowers and gifts, and You know, it's like, how do I explain it? It's, you know, it's celebrating your mom, right? But the truth is for me, like, um, Mother's Day, it's not just for mothers, you know, like so many other people can take on and do take on that mother role, whether it be a friend, an aunt, even a, you know, another man that's like, you know, uh, it it's just a title. It's a title. It's a label, right? It's just like when I call my trans brothers, hey, that's my brother. Like, how you doing, brother? And you know, but he's not like my real brother. And Mother's Day to me is like I think I look back and I know I'm talking about Nana. Yes. I think back of all the people and the women that were in my life that took on a mother role when my mom couldn't, or my mom wasn't there. And I think that's what's important is like I used to think, I used to be sad that, or I used to think that, you know, I wish I had a better mom. I wish my mom didn't have, let's say, the demons that she fought, or, you know, the dysfunctions and all of that. Like I used to be around other friends that had, quote, normal moms. Like, and, um, and the same, you know, with my dad. I always wish that my dad was like, you know, my so-and-so's, my friend's dad, you know. But that's when I was younger, you know. I didn't really understand until I got older that our moms, they're a person. Like, they are, they have a whole life. They had a whole life before we were born, and they still have a life when we're born, but we don't see that. We just think, you know, this is my mom, take care of me, this is what you're supposed to do, you know. And you're, you know, you have to be perfect at it, you know. Well, that's what I thought, you know, like, or good at it. And it's just not realistic. Uh, Mother's Day isn't just, I know this is going to sound weird, but Mother's Day isn't just for good mothers. You know, they're for the mothers that have tried and tried to do good, failed, tried again, failed, might have given up on their kids, but they got better, they got help, and that's not the way it is now. Like, so many mothers have stories that aren't perfect, you know. And my mom was certainly not perfect. You know, my family was definitely not. Like the good old Brady Bunch family. But anyway, what I feel like what I'm trying to get across is the last 5 years that I haven't had my mom physically here made me realize what an incredible mom she was by always picking up that phone, always talking to me when I needed to, or listening, making me feel like everything's going to be okay. Um, it made me realize that through all the bad times, there were really good times too. And she was funny and smart and definitely unique. Um, Everybody loved my mom. Everybody called her mom or Nana. Um, I don't want to say like she made up for the past as she got older, but I think I saw my mom much clearer as I got older, and my mom as well. My mom was extremely giving, thoughtful, and she opened her door to anyone who needed it. She'd give you her last dollar, and worry about the next day when it came. Like, it's just amazing. There were so many people, strangers to me, but who my mom interacted with every day, like, people that work for the doctor's office, receptionists and technicians and aides, and every single person that my mom came in contact with, if she saw them more than once, she got to know them, and she would give them gifts on special occasions. And my mom was certainly not rich, rich in heart, definitely, but yeah, that's how my mom was. My mom also was a what she called herself, a right, like I'm right, a right fighter, because she grew up with a very older brother and two brothers, but much older than her, and they would say, no, 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 Patricia, you're not right. It's this way, that way. And my mom would prove them wrong all the time. Like, she always had this need that if she said something, she wouldn't say it unless she knew that it was what she read from the book, word for word, or it was, facts, undisputable fact. And that's how my mom was. And, so many different sides to her, She partied hard. She worked hard. She worked 3 jobs at one time. She had really, really close friends that we called aunt and uncle, and cousins that were not blood related. My mom had Timmy, me, Brian, and Kelly. She had 4 of us. And Timmy's in heaven with her. But yeah, I mean, she was born in, I believe, 1943. So she lives through a lot of decades of change. She's seen a lot happen, I know I have so much of me inside from my mom. That heart, that thoughtfulness, that compassion, that forgiveness. That is something she has a hard time, always had a hard time with. Especially if it was for somebody that hurt somebody that she cared about or was mean. Yeah, my mom believed in God, but yeah, I think I think when I explained to her how I was able to forgive certain people in my life, that it freed me. It freed me, you know. And if I didn't forgive, I probably would not be standing here today. I would have probably drank myself to death, or, you know, just put myself out of my misery. So she took that in, and and you know, it's a lot. It's a lot. Like, I've never been a biological parent. The closest thing to a parent was helping raise Matthew. You know, it took a village to raise him. And that's, you know, I consider that the biggest gift God ever gave me was putting Matthew in my life. Nothing will ever top that. Nothing in this world will ever top that feeling and the bond that we have. But I can't imagine having like 4 kids, you know, and how hard that would be. And then, like, still try to have your own dreams and, you know, do all the right things, and, you know, it just, you know, my mom sacrificed a lot. That's what I think about, you know. Maybe today, like, people, women and men, they can do it all, you know. They're writing books, they're, you know, singers, or they're doing movies, and they're like going to the gym, and, you know, they're working, you know, on TV. Like, they can do anything these days. I don't know how in the world they do it, but it's like they have like 5 different careers, and all wrapped in one, and still running like circles around people that are 20 years younger than them. But so yeah, people do it all the time now. But my mom gave me some really good memories. There were lessons that I've learned. There were hard times, tough times, separation. You know, there was a very long time that my mom and I didn't speak to each other. And again, when I got older, I realized that I had no freaking right to judge. You know, no right to have judgment on my mom or anybody, actually. And that was another turning point for me of maturing or growing, because I was able to look back and be like, wow, was I really that judgmental? Like, no wonder why I felt like the black sheep of the family sometimes, because I was like, you know, oh, you know, they shouldn't do that, or you shouldn't do that, or how can you let them do this, you know? But yeah. So what I guess I'm saying is that on Mother's Day, for me, for the last 5 years, I haven't had my mom here physically. But what I have are memories, good, bad, in between, laughter, tears, so much, you know. My mom passed, I think, at 76 78 maybe years old, 78 years old. My mom had us when she was very young, so there was not too much of a generation gap. So, yeah, you know, I had, let's see, mom passed in 2020, so I was, all right, let me think for a second. 64, 74, 84, 94, 2004, 2014. I was 56. So 56 years. 56 years I had my mom. And I'm not saying like 24/7, but my mom was on this earth for 56 years of my life. And Mother's Day to me now, it just puts things in perspective, you know. My mom wasn't just a mother. My mom was a best friend. She was a sister, and she was Aunt Pat. She was so many things, more than just a mom. And I miss her, you know, I really miss her. There are friends that I have that don't have moms, or they don't celebrate Mother's Day because, you know, their mom wasn't there, or other things happened, and it's not a day to be celebrated, you know. And so when I think of that, you know, I think of one friend in particular that I'm close to. Not so much in person, but online on Facebook. We've met, but yeah, she doesn't have any good memories. You know, they're not good memories, so she doesn't, you know, she celebrates her children and herself being a mom, like, and she focuses on that. But it makes me feel grateful, even though there were some really, really bad times. It makes me grateful that I had the time that I did with my mom, and that my mom accepted me as Stephen. And you know, I'd like to say, oh yeah, you know, I could do that in a heartbeat. But you don't know how someone else feels unless you're them. Like, I can't imagine like what my mom probably thought, like, oh, I'm losing my daughter, or, you know, I'm not, because it's the same person. Like, however my mom thought, all she did was show me support, more like immense support for my transition. And she would send me cards in the mail and write. She's always done this, both before and after trans. She would either say, to my, you know, handsome son, or back in the day it was to my beautiful daughter. She always wrote a bunch of stuff on the envelopes. But she embraced me, you know, as Stephen. And that's really cool. That's really, really cool. yeah, so I, I don't know, uh, it's a little sadder this Mother's Day, and I think it's because I don't have all this outside noise going on and all this, you know, crazy stuff um, going on in my life like last year, or it seemed like since 2020 it's just been one thing after another and after another, and I know it was my mom's doing and God's, but my mom put me exactly where I was supposed to be today. um, I know that. I'm with a friend. I'm living with a friend who, this friend, my roommate, reminds me of my mom. And I'm in a very loving home. And um, I would have never saw this coming in a million years. This opportunity that when my house sold, I was given this chance to be in a safe, loving environment where I'm treated with respect, and Chance is absolutely loved and spoiled. Uh, yeah, that was definitely my mom. Um, but anyway, I want to wish everybody that's a mom happy Mother's Day, and to all my friends that are moms, happy Mother's Day, and my baby sister, happy Mother's Day, sis. Um, yeah, to all the new moms out there that just had babies, happy Mother's Day. Um, but I want to say, it's been talking for like a half an hour now. If you're still awake, I want to say, if you have a mom physically still here and things aren't great, it's never too late to patch things up if that's what you want. It's never too late to forgive. It's never too late to love, and you'll know, like you'll know when the right time is. But um, if you're feeling sad, that you don't have um, a mom that's supportive, um, uh, I'm I'm really supportive, and I'm sure your friends are supportive, and just surround yourself, um, even if it's with one person that you care about. Let them know, hey, thanks for being there for me. You know, yeah, you're not my mom, but um, thanks for making me feel loved, or just, being there for me. Um, so, yeah, um, it's still hard. It's still hard to believe that my mom is gone. And it's been hard the last 5 years, the way that she passed and the circumstances. Yeah, I had a lot of guilt, felt a lot of guilt, a lot of anger, a lot of so many emotions when my mom passed. The same with Timmy. Um, it's funny that my mom passed, even though it was not peaceful. My mom, it wasn't a peaceful passing, but I remember when Timmy passed that my mom had to go when she had to go when she did. She had to go to heaven when she did because she had to be there for Timmy. And I remember, being in Timmy's room and he had already passed, but the priest came in with me and I really couldn't talk. I think I was still in a little shock, but I asked the priest to tell Timmy to go find Mom, even though I knew he wasn't in there anymore. Like, I knew his spirit was gone. But if he was in the room, then listen, tell Timmy, I asked that priest, tell Timmy to go to Mom. And because she wouldn't have been able to handle if Timmy passed before her, because that's not the way it's supposed to be. So, Mother's Day has been so enlightening for me the last 5 years. I started out this morning looking through photos for my friend. I was trying to find some photos of desserts that Wendy made back in 2020 up until now, because my friend is having a party and she wants to test out like pastries, and I said, Wendy can bake. Like, Wendy's fantastic. So I was looking through my phone to find those pictures of all the desserts that Wendy made. And of course, my Google Photos have like 4,000 or more photos in it. So I'm like going through all of these and I'm seeing my mom, and it's just like 25, 24, 23, like it's just going down all the way till God knows when. I had started Facebook 2009, but it started out like seeing those pictures and just thinking, and I miss her so much. I love her. I love when she visits me. And happy Mother's Day, Mom. So I hope this message comes across as, one, don't be so hard on your mom. Don't be hard on your mom. There's not a handbook that's given to moms when they have the baby, Two is there's always room for change, and whether that's maybe taking the first step and being the one who initiates communication. If you haven't spoken to each other in a long time, be the one. let your ego and your pride and all that other nonsense, let that shit go. Because life is too short. It's way too short. And number three, we shouldn't judge others. You know, that's for God to handle. You know, and yeah, I'm not saying like people shouldn't be responsible and be accountable for things that are not not right. I'm just saying if you're missing somebody, you're missing your mom, but you haven't talked, or you know, just all I can say is when your parents leave or someone that you love very much, when they leave this earth, it's permanent. It's permanent. They're gone. They're physically gone. And all you have are memories and the tape recorder that you've had on since you were born. And can't, it you can't get them back. I still have a voicemail from my mom when she was in the nursing home, and I have messages on Messenger with these little messages she sent me with characters. And one of the last things that she sent me was, when you come to visit me, stop at McDonald's and get me chicken McNuggets. And that just made me really smile when I got that day. And I still look at that message every now and again, and it makes me smile. She always bought Happy Meals, kids Happy Meals. It's so funny, but yeah. So for all the kids and people that are missing their mom too, that have passed, be kind to yourself today, and know you're not alone. And in the beginning, it's really, really hard. And that hole in your heart, it doesn't go away, that'll always be there, that will always be there. But you do gain a lot more perspective and respect, for me anyway, and I even love my mom even more now than I did when she was alive. Of this whole person my mom was. You don't think about those things when they're alive, you just say, just your mom, mom's gonna last forever, that kind of thing. But yeah, my heart is with you too. If you're like me and mom's in heaven and you miss her, my heart goes out to you. But yeah, my mom taught me a lot. My mom taught me a lot. One thing she taught me was, when you get knocked down, pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and get back up and keep going. Don't quit. She taught me need to be respectful to my elders, and so much. My mom taught me so much. She taught me, like, it's okay to, like, be goofy and silly and laugh, and, like, it's so not me. But, like, she would make me laugh in a way, like, not like ha ha ha, like laugh that when we were at the beach together, she'd just be able to walk up to a group of college kids hanging out, and just start talking, shooting the breeze with them. And within 20 minutes, we're leaving, and they're like, "Bye, Pat." Like, wow. Like, see you again, Miss Pat. Like, God, like, it was so easy for her to connect to strangers. Like, it just blew me away. Like, how did she do that? Like, how do you just walk up to somebody and start shooting the breeze? Like, and the reason I would laugh is because I would hear them laughing, and that meant my mom was probably telling them a dirty joke, like, oh, and I'd be like, oh my God, like, God knows what she's telling them. So, anyway, this is my little Mother's Day video for myself. So yeah, happy Mother's Day to everyone. And I love you guys, and have a great day. Bye.